Gone are the days when your only option was to graduate college and pursue whatever degree you graduated from. Now you have the option to not even go to college if you want and pursue the things that you love that are once called gigs. Back in the day, they were called gigs. Now they're called businesses. And that in itself is a powerful thing. Hey there, welcome to the Marketer's Lounge podcast, episode 7. Welcome. This is your host, Demi. Feel free to sit down, relax, and enjoy in this beautiful moment of episode 7. We are actually going to be talking about the recent launch that I did in my business, which is an online course. So I did a mini course launch, and I want to talk about it here in the podcast so that if you are if you're wanting, rather, it's like a combination of willing and wanting and walling. Oh my God. Word of the day, walling. Thank you so much. So I created Freelancing Career Skyrocketer. So it's a mini course program, and I want to share it with you so that if you are wanting to create an online course, just like even if a small course, you can make it a success. I'm going to show you the behind the scenes on what I did in that course launch that you can also do in your course launch to make sure that it is successful. Now, this is not a promo podcast. So right now, Freelancing Career Skyrocketer, or what we call FCS, is closed. So I'm not going to promote you anything about FCS. Okay. I'm just going to give you an overview on what you could do if you have potential online courses that you want to release in the future. At least you now have a mini blueprint on what you could do. So we launched Freelancing Career Skyrocketer, and it's a 4-part course. Like, it's a very small course, just with 20 to 25 minutes per lesson. There's 4 lessons in there, and I put in a couple of bonuses, like for example the worksheet, the Facebook group, and templates from Dip Your Brush, which is my other business. So I put it in there together with the recordings of the people from Batch Lambert. So in those recordings, in those group coaching call recordings, we tackled a lot about the lessons inside FCS. So in FCS, we also talk about niching down and basically the first few things that you need to do in order to become a freelancer. Right off the bat, just literally putting your foot at the door in the freelancing industry is what FCS is all about, right? And then in that group coaching call, I feel like it was so helpful for people who are just starting out, because it's just a conversation with prompts, because I created prompts for those people who attended the group coaching call in order to make them think again about who they are as a person, what kind of freelancer they are putting out themselves out there, that kind of stuff. So I put that there as a bonus too. Now, how much is it basically? So it's only 447 pesos. That's $10 if you are wondering, in a USD currency. So it's just a $10 course, or not even, just like sort of like 9 or 8 point something dollars, and it's super affordable, especially for a lot of people who just wishes to put their foot at the freelancing door, trying to see if freelancing is for them, if they want to pursue freelancing. It's an overview. And it has been helpful for a lot of people because of the worksheets. It is a tangible form of who they are trying to become. So that's why inside the course, I always tell people, hey, you have to answer your worksheets, because it's a tangible, it's the visual thing that you can see that you actually have taken action in this program. And the reason why I created FCS in general is, number one, to allow people to have an experience of an affordable online course with top-notch experience. So unlike other online courses that we have experienced out there, where they just put the videos on a Google Drive or on Vimeo or some sort of like a video repository, I really put that in the same place where I created my flagship course, Create in Our Academy. So it's allowing them to experience the same thing that I did with CRA, because I want them to know, okay, I want people to know that this is what it looks like if you're going to purchase an online course. There are people who are skeptical with online courses, and so to give them the maximum experience on what it is like to have an online course or to go inside an online course, it's going to be instilled in their mind. And so the next time they enroll in other online courses, they have a higher standard. It's inculcating the nature of e-learning and education in the Philippine setting, most especially for people who haven't had the chance to buy an online course in their entire life. So that's why we have the customer service on. We now have Rachel that is guiding people on what to do when they are on the inside, how to enroll, giving them access, being there in terms of customer service, so that when they have questions, we can answer them in a snap of a finger, because not a lot of people who enroll in online courses are actually technical. They would need guidance in terms of it. And so I also designed the members area to be super simple, understandable. You can see everything in the left panel rather than having a very confusing user interface that would not be friendly for people who have just purchased an online course for the first time in their entire life, which also includes, by the way, the experience on the Facebook group. People know exactly how to use a Facebook group. And so to add that kind of bonus also lets them know that this is a familiar field. We are still in the same space of the internet, and yeah, we have networks. So it also makes other people feel that they belong. Okay, there. Another reason why I created Freelancing Career Skyrocketer is to create more freelancers in the next few months. So freelancing is not anymore something new, something weird. People already know what freelancing is when you talk about freelancing. I don't need to go back to the times where I need to define freelancing again and again and again because people don't understand it. Now, when you talk to people about freelancing, at the snap of a finger, they already understand what it is. So gone are the days when you're a freelancer and you need to explain yourself to the people who doesn't totally get it. People already understand what the field is. And to be able to get people at the door of the freelancing industry at a very affordable rate means that we can create more people, or we can enlarge the group that we already have in order to create a different workforce and to somehow be accepted in the society that we are in. So there are still people that are having their 9-to-5 jobs, and no problem with that as long as you love your work. But we're also creating a different workforce. We're trying to create a different workforce this year, because I would always say this time and time again, that when it comes to digital marketing, the industry that we have, it's crazy that you have the option to do whatever the hell you want in your freaking life and earn money from it. We have that because we have the internet. The internet is this powerful tool that would allow us to reach our dreams at the snap of our finger, just because you have a mobile device. So if you're going to come to think about it, it's pretty crazy what that does for us. So gone are the days when your only option was to graduate college and pursue whatever degree you graduated from. Now you have the option to not even go to college if you want and pursue the things that you love that are once called gigs. Back in the day, they were called gigs. Now they're called businesses. And that in itself is a powerful thing. And that's also the goal of FCS, is to really put people into the freelancing door. Because if you are interested in freelancing in the first place, why are you not doing the necessary work that needs to be done in order to get your foot at the door? And then they would say, oh, I lack resources. Now that you have the resources, FCS, what else are you doing, right? That is why, again and again, I repeat it again and again in the videos, in the Facebook group. Have you answered your blueprint yet? Have you applied those things yet? Because those 4 lessons are so exquisitely simple. And that's also why it's so affordable, because it's super easy. And so for someone to not be able to take action on it, there's something to do with determination, self-esteem, fear, confidence. Confidence and self-esteem is basically the same thing. But yeah, so that's the goal. And then the other thing, this one is a business technique. Why I created FCS is to say goodbye to freebie seekers. So back in the day, a long time ago, I used to do a lot of lead magnet, right? So lead magnets meaning free checklist, free PDF guide, free video training, free webinar, free whatever for the people who are interested in freelancing. And I realized that the emails that come back to us are really low quality. The people that email us are really low quality people. They are not warm leads. They're super cold leads that are just getting stuff for free through their email. They don't even know what it is. They don't even open it. And so for someone to pull out their credit card or debit card and pay for something that they highly value means commitment to me. And so we are not going to be releasing free lead magnets, free training, free webinars, and that kind of stuff anymore in Strive for Excellence team. We will ask you to pay already. Not because we're trying to be greedy, but because we need commitment. And it's not going to be expensive. So if we're going to be releasing training anytime soon, it's not going to be like CRA 8,000, 12,000 pesos. So it's really going to be minimal, like something that you wouldn't even mind of having. So probably 250 pesos, 500 pesos, that kind of stuff, just to put your commitment not too low, but also not too high in order for you to share your commitment with us. Because these trainings actually we spend a lot of money on it. We spend a lot of time on it in creating. So my team, I pay them, and then I also spend a lot of time recording these things, a lot of time studying these principles. And so for us to give it for free, and just people coming in to the training and not finishing it or not opening it, and then later on we send an email blast, they reply to us more. That to me is what? Although I do not get hurt with that, but just trying to understand the quality of people that you have in your email list. It's always best if you have quality people rather than quantity. And that's a mistake that I'm trying to undo when we tried to run ads in the past. So we tried to run ads for free training, free trial, free lead magnet, free whatever, free webinar. And people love free, of course, but who knows who these people are? They are not even committed to what we have to offer. And that says a lot about them. So if we can filter the freebie seekers, we're only just going to be serving the people who are truly committed with what we have to offer. Then we can spend more time with them instead of spending more time with the people that are just going to send us email about more, right? So there's that. So that's also one thing that FCS is trying to do, is to say goodbye to the freebie seekers. So that's also something that I wish for you to do if you're going to launch an online course. Well, it's good that you have a free training or free webinar and that kind of stuff, but I would ask for a very minimal amount, not because you're trying to make money from it. It's not, the fact is that training, you're very much willing to give it for free, but you wish to still ask a little bit of it or for it because you want other people's commitment. The idea is to not make profit from it, but to ask for people's commitment, because that's the only time that they will be all ears on you and they will finish whatever you have to say. Okay. So unlike with free webinars, free trainings, they're just going to sign up, not even watch a video because it's free. People who pay attention. That is Russel Brunson. Russel Brunson would always say, people who pay attention. And that is why let us get rid of freebie seekers. If you're planning to promote your online course, video podcast, whatever that is, and you plan to hype it up with a video series, a training, a lead magnet, and whatever, ask for something, okay? Gone are the days that we want freebie seekers in our email lists and in our audience list, because my God, even if we're going to say that, hey, this is why I do not like mentioning the number of my email list, because I'm not proud of it. We have spent a lot of money on it and we are earning a lot of money from it. But I currently have 50,000 people in my email list. I used to have 122 or 100K people in my email list. And I just kept on purging and purging and purging, because aside from the fact that it's a waste of money, that people are not even opening the emails. So at the point where you are not opening my emails, I would definitely delete you already. And for the people who are just replying to us like the magic words, PIM, we automatically delete them, because, you know, they're not the right type of audience that we want in our roster. Yeah, that's also one goal of FCS. And then another one, by the way, if you are planning, like what I said, if you're planning to launch an online course and you are building a hype, I created a video about it on what you can do to hype it up. So you can do a giveaway, a challenge, a video training, or a webinar, that kind of stuff. Then you ask for something for it. Make sure that it's not too heavy, right? So like what I mentioned earlier, not too heavy for your audience and not too cheap also. Because if it's too cheap, it's just going to be the same as freebie. Like literally, it's just going to vanish, okay? You are defeating its purpose. So don't make it like 1 peso or 10 pesos for this very training. Like people would say that 10 pesos is important, but when it comes to putting money in terms of commitment, something that I find to be a sweet spot would somewhere around 250 pesos to 500 pesos. And if your target market is a lot well off or more well off, you can increase the price to 1,000. Or if you have proven that you don't have refund rates at 250 to 500, you can increase the price even more, like a lot more. Like I would say the roof or the ceiling would be 1,000 pesos, just so you could completely remove the people who are not 100% committed to the program. Because like what I said, the idea is not to make profit, but to have people commit to you. And if it's too cheap, they're not going to consider it as something important. Okay. So if you are making profit, however, in that paid training that you are creating, that's good. But the idea really is the fact that you are willing to give free trainings, webinar challenges for free. Why not put a price tag on it to allow people to commit to you? Okay. Alrighty. Now let's talk about the difference between FCS and CRA. So what's the difference between FCS and CRA? This is something that you can also copy for your very own online course and modify it later on. Number one, FCS is simply getting few obstacles out of the way, right? So freelancing is a whole big of a process in terms of it becoming a career, right? So there's like self-reflection, going to the point where you are starting to hire people in order to scale your business or your freelancing business. That's awesome. Now, with FCS, it's solving a very specific problem. So you are targeting two different people here. The one that is super committed to make ends meet, and then the one that is still on the fence and still haven't decided on the product that you are offering. That's why I created FCS. I wanted to make sure that I'm not only helping the people who are super committed to make freelancing full time, I'm also ensuring that the people who are still trying to get their foot at the door in the freelancing industry and they're not really sure if they want to freelance full time yet are being taken care of. Right? So that's the difference between FCS and CRA. And I explained it over and over again in a couple of my live videos during the launch that they are similar, but they are solving very specific problems. CRA, 0 to hero. You don't need to think about anything else anymore because you already have all the resources that you need to get from who you are as this moment to that person who earns 100K a month. But with FCS, super specific. I am just solving a problem for the people who are just beginners, wants to know how to start freelancing. FCS is for you. Both are beginner friendly, but both serves a different purpose. Okay. Next, how many students are there now? So as of this, oh my God, I don't even, I put this as a question, but I don't even know how much. Hang on a second. Let me check my phone. Okay. As I'm recording this video, I have 382 students in FCS. So that was only the first time that I launched FCS. Nobody heard about it. I didn't do anything to hype it up. I did, actually. I did a couple of things just to hype it up. I just released the graphic 2 weeks before the enrollment period. So that's all the hype that I did. Yeah, that's all I can remember. I just released the graphic 2 weeks ago about what it's going to be, how much it's going to be, and then I launched it. And then we have 382 students as I am speaking. those are the things, or those are some of the techniques that I will also be teaching inside my new course, which is the School for Online Coaches. So if you are listening to this and you have been wanting to also get success in your online course, you're planning to make one, and you want to make sure that it's going to be grand because you wish to leave a legacy, and of course, earn passive income because you are tired of getting money only when you are working. My gosh, we are opening in June 1. So I'm super excited to be announcing that one. And it's going to be completely different from CRA. There are a lot of mistakes that I did in CRA that I'm not going to be repeating in TSOC, most specifically when writing curriculum. So one thing that I noticed with CRA is that it's jam-packed. It's a lot of information. And with TSOC, I'm just going to be super direct to the point, actionable. And compared to CRA with 7 modules, I only have 5 modules in TSOC. And then we're going to be actively learning. So it's not just going to be like CRA where there's lessons and then you can log in anytime. We have group coaching calls, and I'll be encouraging you to open it within a span of 5 months, because this rigorous training is going to take place in 5 rigorous months, right? And by the end of that, it's really a school. Like, this is what I'm talking about. This is why I called it the School for Online Coaches. It's because it's a virtual school and I will be there. It's a mentorship program rather than it being a course. So it's not just a course, by the way. Yeah, why did I call that a course? It's a mentorship program. We're going to be actively talking to each other. There will be lessons that are pre-recorded, of course, but you have to read them with the deadline. So people are already asking like, hey, what about us? Busy people. It's not, I'll try to think about a way and how you can still enroll to TSOC without thinking about the time. But I do believe that 5 months, 1 module per month is very reasonable. Okay, you can finish 1 module in 1 month, and in 1 module there are only 2 to 4 lessons. There are only 2 to 4 assignments, and those are very easy, and those are necessary assignments anyway for you to keep on moving forward. Because if you're not going to have time for the classes, how much time can you actually render for an online course? It's going to take a lot of your time. And so for you to say that you don't have time for TSOC, I would have to say sorry and let you understand that creating an online course will take a lot of your time. I'm also going to make sure, of course, I'm not going to be heartless. I'm going to make sure that if there are group coaching calls and stuff that you need to do inside TSOC, I'll make sure that it will be worth your time. Plus, it will not be super long. Alrighty? The deadlines are going to be reasonable, right? Alrighty, so again, June 1, the School for Online Coaches. If you are one of us who wishes to leave a legacy behind and create a pocket of passive income, earn to change while you sleep, you come to the right place. That's just like the introduction of this podcast. Anyways, by the ways, highways, I hope that you learned something out from this podcast episode, and I'll see you in the next one.